Good morning. On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife, Rama. Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled "Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City." I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home.
The look on Jessica Tisch's face says it all. This would be funny if it weren't for the fact that it's so ridiculous and is actually dangerous for the public. Because this past weekend, there was a failed ISIS-inspired terror attack in New York City. And what's Mamdani doing? He's not denouncing the radicalism. He's not denouncing that ideology. Instead, what he's doing is he's bashing white people. He's blaming this on white supremacy when it wasn't white people who attempted to blow people up. It wasn't white people who attempted to kill and maim and injure dozens, if not hundreds of people. It was two people who were inspired by ISIS. Maybe you should get your priorities straight here, Mamdani. And the irony in all of this is that there were actually two separate groups of protesters. And that first group is the one Mamdani was talking about, Stop the Islamic Takeover of America. But there was another group of counter-protesters. They were saying, everyone is welcome here. No human is illegal. There's no such thing as an illegal immigrant. We've all heard their arguments before. But there's actually now new footage where the person spearheading that group shouts, everyone is welcome here. And right after he shouts that, the terrorist throws the bomb over his shoulder. You cannot make this stuff up.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Meanwhile, everyone's just standing there. If I were there, I would have ran away, and the media's, flocking in like they're wont to do. And look, while it's clear that those counter-protesters weren't the ones who were being targeted, they still would have been severely injured had these bombs gone off. And yes, I say bombs because there were two. This is one of them. This is a picture released from the NYPD, and as you can see, it's filled with shrapnel, just nails, screws, a lot of things that could do a lot of damage, kill people, maim people, cause lifelong injuries. This is really similar to what happened at the Boston Marathon bombing. And look, even though it was targeted at that first group, once the explosive goes off and the shrapnel goes everywhere, anyone in that immediate radius is going to be injured, right? So it would have hurt the innocent bystanders. It would have hurt the people saying, hey, all are welcome here, no such thing as illegal immigrants. It could have, hey, with shrapnel that sharp, it could have even gone into the mansion, the mayor's mansion, and hurt Mamdani. Yes, I know he said that they weren't home at the time, but let's say they were and these bombs did go off. People inside, even in the building, could have gotten injured. And so that's why I say, hey, we are really lucky that this didn't go off. We're really lucky that those were failed explosive devices. But the scary part is that we now have the leader of the largest city in America saying, oh, no, radical Islam, that's not a threat. Oh, no, there's no such thing as this radical ideology. You're just making that up. Those people, the two literal terrorists, they're not the problem. The problem here are people who are exercising their First Amendment rights. People who happen to be white and, oh, Mamdani, I'm going to claim that they're white supremacists. Mamdani is sick, delusional, and completely out of touch with reality. He's undermining the real threat. He's pretending it doesn't exist, and then he's trying to cause hatred and division in a time when we're already politically divided. He is not making things any better. Well, like I said, the best reaction in all of that was actually Jessica Tisch's face. She is the NYPD commissioner, and she gave her own press conference after Mamdani spoke, and she revealed that, hey, yes, this is an ISIS-inspired attack, and they actually now have evidence now that they've filed charges. Take a look.
As alleged in the complaint, the defendants were inspired by ISIS to carry out their attack. There should be no confusion about what ISIS constitutes. It is a designated foreign terrorist organization responsible for deadly terrorist attacks across the globe and has taken credit for mass casualty attacks in Europe, the Middle East, and right here in the United States. And as alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Qayyumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS.
Right. And so it really feels like there's no question here. There apparently is also NYPD body cam footage that shows the two guys who were arrested saying just terrible things and talking about ISIS. And on top of that, one of the guys actually flashed a hand sign, which apparently I didn't realize that there was an ISIS hand salute, but he did that, and it is on camera, it's on video, there are pictures of it everywhere, and so there really is no doubt what their motivation was here. So for Mamdani to be completely undermining what actually happened, to attempt to whitewash it while he's bashing white people, is just so... there's not a word that comes to mind. If you can think of a word, disgusting, ridiculous, unbecoming, he's just an unserious person. Talk about a total clown show. Now, my biggest disappointment in all of this was actually the coverage on CBS News. I thought CBS was getting better, and hey, some of their programs have been improving. I know they're under new leadership, Barry Weiss, and that's why I thought, hey, maybe they're turning a corner. But take a look how they covered this on CBS. See what you notice about the picture that they show on screen when they're talking about the ISIS-inspired terror attack.
Tonight, the FBI is investigating two men after an explosive device with bolts and screws was thrown into a crowd. It happened in New York City on Saturday during a protest that turned violent outside the mayor's official residence. CBS's Chanel Call is there with the very latest tonight. Chanel.
So they show a picture of a Trump supporter while they're talking about this ISIS-inspired attack. Why are you not showing the guys who actually threw the bombs? Why are you showing Trump supporters instead? And on top of that, you're showing a guy who is clearly Persian, Iranian. He's saying Persians for Trump, someone who's happy with what President Trump is doing in the Middle East. Talk about pushing an agenda here. They're not even trying to hide it. Now, to go back to these two scumbags, they're apparently, obviously, they're in custody and they are potentially facing the death penalty in all of this. But to make matters worse, so they were raised, I believe they were born here in America. The parents fled here from Afghanistan. And take a look at this. The New York Post uncovered that one of them actually grew up in this home. Yes, and it's actually smaller in the photo than it appears. There's another shot where it's from a helicopter's point of view, and the house really goes way back. It is a $2.5 million home. So it's not as if he's coming from poverty or that he was abused by the system. It's not as if he has an axe to grind with the US government or with the economy. Clearly, he's lived a life of privilege. His parents have found success for themselves in a different country. I mean, just think about how hard that would be for anyone, not just someone coming to America, but imagine, like, going, I don't know, to any country in Europe or Asia and having to start over, learn a new language and a culture. I mean, they clearly have reached a peak of success that is well above the average American. And so for this guy, these two guys, to be so embittered and radicalized, it makes you wonder, what happened? Was it just they saw ISIS propaganda on the internet? Were they inspired at home? I don't know. I'm not making any claims. But what I am saying is that the left, they say that, oh, people who do bad things, they do so because they're just acting out. Democrats claim, oh, terrorists, they do it because America attacked them first. America persecuted them, and so now they have to do all these terrible things to get back. No, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, especially when they are here in America, living, taking advantage of all our freedoms, taking advantage of the economic opportunities, clearly doing well for themselves, and then to just kill their fellow countrymen, attempt to kill their fellow countrymen. I think it is just grotesque. And that is the word. It's grotesque. And so, look, I know we've had fun poking fun at Mamdani's policies, whether it's how he shovels, how he wants to pay people to shovel, show forms of identification, his policy when it comes to toilets, his economic policies. But this is just something else. This has crossed the line. He's undermining an actual threat, and then he's trying to scapegoat people. In this case, he's trying to scapegoat white people, get people to hate them, turn on them. It just really is disgusting. It's unbecoming, and I cannot believe he is one of the largest leaders in America. To me, he really showed his true colors today. Now, before we wrap up the video, there is one more thing I would like to get to, but first, I would like to acknowledge the members of today's Governor's Club. They are Eliza Kokkonen, Nahami, Sherry Miller, Don Pulverizer, Shanna Doron, Maga Meg, Jeremy 2001 Happy, H.C. Marley, Super Roamer, and Robert Stevens. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I'm glad that you enjoy, and I'm glad that you're here. Well, it is Monday, which means it is Music Monday. Every Monday, I am closing my videos by playing a piano cover of a piece that one of y'all requested down in the comments. So this is for Miss Betty in Alabama. She requested How Great Thou Art, and if you have a request, let me know down in the comments below, and hey, maybe next Monday you will see your request come to life. Hope you enjoy. Again, if you haven't already, if you have a request that you would like to see on a future Music Monday, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.